Top 20 commercial pilot interview questions and answers. Prepare for success with these top 20 commercial pilot interview questions and answers, covering technical skills, decision-making, CRM, and safety practices to help you ace your next aviation interview confidently. 1. What are the key differences between VFR and IFR flying? VFR visual flight rules and IFR instrument flight rules are two sets of regulations governing flight. VFR requires clear weather, allowing pilots to navigate visually using landmarks and the horizon. It's typically used for short, local flights. IFR, on the other hand, is used when weather conditions are poor or visibility is limited. It relies on instruments and air traffic control, ATC, guidance for navigation, and separation from other aircraft. IFR is more complex, requiring specialized training and certification. The choice depends on weather, airspace, and flight purpose, with safety and regulation compliance being the top priorities. 2. How do you handle an engine failure during takeoff? Handling an engine failure during takeoff depends on when the failure occurs. If it's before reaching V1 speed, the takeoff is aborted and braking is applied. If it occurs after V1, takeoff is continued and the aircraft is climbed out safely using the remaining engines. The pilot maintains directional control, retracts the landing gear, follows the engine out procedure, and communicates with ATC for an emergency return or diversion. Crew coordination is crucial, and decision-making must be immediate and precise. Simulators and regular training ensure pilots are well prepared for this high-stress scenario. 3. Explain the steps you would take in case of a hydraulic system failure. Upon detecting a hydraulic failure, I would first refer to the Quick Reference Handbook, QRH, for the specific aircraft. Depending on the system affected, primary or backup, I would assess the impact on flight controls, landing gear, brakes, and flaps. I'd communicate with ATC to declare an emergency if needed and coordinate for priority landing. Reducing workload and relying on alternate systems is key. I would brief the crew and passengers accordingly and prepare for a potentially abnormal landing. Post-landing, emergency services might be requested. Effective CRM and checklist discipline are critical in managing the situation. 4. What factors affect aircraft performance, and how do you account for them? Several factors affect aircraft performance, including weight, temperature, altitude, wind, runway slope, and surface conditions. Higher weight increases takeoff and landing distances. Hot temperatures and high-altitude airports, high-density altitude, reduce engine and aerodynamic performance. Wind direction and speed impact ground roll and climb performance. Pilots use performance charts, aircraft flight manuals, and on-board systems to calculate required distances and adjust speeds. Pre-flight planning includes fuel calculations, alternate plans, and payload considerations. Regular performance assessments during flight also help adjust for unexpected changes, ensuring safety and efficiency throughout all flight phases. 5. How you calculate takeoff and landing distances under different conditions. Takeoff and landing distances are calculated using aircraft-specific performance charts or onboard flight management systems, FMS, factoring in variables like weight, runway length, elevation, slope, wind, temperature, and surface condition. For takeoff, you determine V-speeds, flap settings, and obstacle clearance requirements. For landing, you factor in approach speed, braking performance, and runway conditions wet, contaminated, or dry. Adjustments are made for headwind or tailwind components and any aircraft performance limitations. These calculations are critical for safety and are cross-verified between crew members. Digital tools and apps also assist in making accurate, real-time performance decisions. 6. Describe your experience with CRM, crew resource management. CRM is integral to safe flight operations. It emphasizes teamwork, communication, situational awareness, and decision-making. In my flying experience, I've applied CRM to effectively coordinate with co-pilots, cabin crew, and ATC. During high workload situations like weather diversions or system malfunctions, clear communication and task delegation have helped us maintain control and ensure safety. I actively participate in CRM training sessions and debriefings to continually improve. Respect for others' inputs, assertiveness when needed, and mutual support are core values I bring to every flight deck. promoting a safe and collaborative cockpit environment. 7. What are the critical phases of flight, and why are they important? The critical phases of flight include taxiing, takeoff, initial climb, approach, and landing. These phases demand heightened attention because they involve rapid changes, high workload, and proximity to terrain or obstacles. Most aviation incidents occur during takeoff and landing due to low altitude and limited reaction time. During these phases, sterile cockpit rules apply, meaning no non-essential conversation to minimize distraction. Pilots are trained to be especially vigilant. Follow SOPs strictly and prepare in advance by reviewing procedures and contingencies. Situational awareness and crew coordination are essential to manage these high-risk moments safely. 8. How do you manage fuel efficiency during a flight? Fuel efficiency starts with proper flight planning, choosing optimal routes, altitudes, and calculating payload. During flight, I use economical climb and cruise settings, monitor wind and temperature data for optimal altitude adjustments, and apply cost index settings provided by the airline. Reducing drag by managing speed, flap use, and configuration changes helps conserve fuel. I also coordinate with ATC for direct routing when possible and avoid unnecessary holding or diversions. After landing, I minimize taxi time and use single-engine taxi when safe. Monitoring fuel burn throughout the flight ensures adjustments are made proactively to maintain efficiency. 9. What is wake turbulence, and how do you avoid it? Wake turbulence is caused by the wingtip vortices generated by aircraft, especially large, heavy, and slow-moving ones. These vortices can create hazardous rolling motion for following aircraft, particularly during takeoff and landing. To avoid wake turbulence, I maintain proper separation behind larger aircraft, at least 2 minutes during takeoff and approach. I adjust takeoff rotation points and landing touch points to avoid the preceding aircraft's flight path. ATC provides wake turbulence advisories, and I remain vigilant, especially in light aircraft or crosswind conditions. Awareness and adherence to wake separation minima are crucial to maintaining safety. 10. How do you respond to an emergency decompression at high altitude? In an emergency decompression, immediate actions are crucial. I would don the oxygen mask, initiate an emergency descent to a safe, breathable altitude, typically 10,000 feet, and communicate with ATC. The crew would ensure passenger oxygen masks are deployed and instruct the cabin via the PA system. I would verify cabin pressure readings, review QRH checklists, and monitor aircraft systems. After stabilizing the aircraft, I'd assess damage or malfunctions and plan a diversion to the nearest suitable airport. Post-incident, I'd file the appropriate reports. Timely response, communication, and checklist adherence are key to passenger and crew safety. 11. Describe a time when you had to make a quick decision under pressure. What was the outcome? While on final approach, we suddenly encountered a wind shear warning. I immediately initiated a go-around as per SOP, maintaining control and following ATC instructions. The co-pilot monitored instruments while I focused on flying. We reassessed weather, briefed passengers, and successfully landed on the second approach after confirming safer wind conditions. The quick decision prevented a potential hard landing or runway excursion. This experience reinforced the importance of staying calm, relying on training, and using CRM effectively. Acting decisively under pressure ensured safety for all on board and demonstrated the importance of vigilance during critical flight phases. 12. Have you ever disagreed with a co-pilot or ATC? How did you handle it? Yes, during a flight, the co-pilot suggested an alternate approach I believed wasn't optimal due to weather. I respectfully voiced my concern, reviewed the latest METARS and NOTAMS, and suggested rechecking with ATC. We discussed it briefly and decided on a safer option together. Open communication and mutual respect helped us reach a consensus without conflict. In aviation, disagreements must be handled professionally, focusing on safety and facts. I always encourage open dialogue and use CRM principles to ensure that any differences in judgment are resolved constructively for the benefit of the crew and passengers. 13. How do you handle fatigue during long-haul flights? Fatigue management begins before the flight with proper rest, hydration, and nutrition. During long-haul flights, I strictly follow regulated rest schedules and in-flight crew rotations. I avoid heavy meals and caffeine close to rest periods, and use relaxation techniques to maximize rest quality. While on duty, I maintain mental alertness by staying engaged in cockpit tasks, communicating actively with the crew, and using checklist discipline. I also monitor signs of fatigue in myself and others. Post-flight recovery is equally important. Adhering to fatigue management protocols ensures alertness and safe decision-making during extended flight operations. 14. What would you do if a passenger had a medical emergency mid-flight? First, I would notify cabin crew and assess the severity. The crew would request help from any medical professionals on board and use the onboard medical kit, or AED if necessary. I would inform ATC and request medical advice from our airline's ground medical service. If available, depending on the situation, I might initiate a diversion to the nearest suitable airport. Throughout, I'd support the cabin crew, coordinate with dispatch, and ensure passengers are kept informed without causing panic. The key is quick coordination, empathy, and prioritizing the passenger's well-being while maintaining flight safety. 15. Tell me about a time you faced unexpected weather conditions. How did you adapt? On a regional flight, an unexpected thunderstorm formed along our route. Weather radar showed rapid cell development, so I immediately coordinated with ATC to request a deviation. We altered course, monitored weather updates, and briefed the cabin crew and passengers. I adjusted speed to minimize turbulence and maintained communication with ATC for rerouting. The diversion added time, but safety was never compromised. This situation emphasized the importance of weather awareness, flexibility, and decisive action. Adapting quickly, using available technology, and maintaining calm ensures safe and professional handling of adverse conditions. 16. Why do you want to work for our airline specifically? Your airline's reputation for safety, innovation, and employee development aligns perfectly with my professional values and goals. I admire your commitment to modernizing the fleet, enhancing sustainability, and maintaining a strong safety culture. Additionally, the opportunities for career progression, ongoing training, and exposure to diverse global routes are highly attractive. I want to be part of a team that values excellence, teamwork, and customer service. Joining your airline would allow me to contribute meaningfully while continuing to grow as a pilot in a supportive, professional, and forward-thinking environment. 17. How do you stay updated with the latest aviation regulations and technology? I regularly review updates from aviation authorities like ICAO, FAA, and EASA, and subscribe to industry publications such as Aviation Week and Flight Global. I attend recurrent training sessions, simulator checks, and briefings which cover regulatory changes in emerging technologies. I also participate in airline safety meetings, webinars, and professional forums. Staying informed about advancements in avionics, navigation systems, and safety procedures is essential for modern flight operations. Continuous learning and staying updated with regulations not only ensures compliance, but also enhances safety and operational efficiency in an ever-evolving aviation landscape. 18. What do you consider the most challenging aspect of being a commercial pilot? One of the most challenging aspects is maintaining peak performance under high workload and irregular schedules. Pilots must make critical decisions under pressure, adapt to dynamic situations like weather or mechanical issues, and manage fatigue, all while ensuring passenger safety and comfort. Balancing personal life with demanding duty rosters can also be tough. However, with strong discipline, effective CRM, and adherence to regulations, these challenges become manageable. For me, the rewards, like problem-solving, teamwork, and the joy of flying, far outweigh the difficulties. Continuous self-awareness and adaptability are key to meeting these challenges head-on. 19. How do you ensure compliance with SOPs, standard operating procedures? I strictly follow SOPs as a foundation of safe and consistent flight operations. Before every flight, I thoroughly review checklists and brief the crew on roles and expectations. During flight, I maintain procedural discipline, cross-verify tasks, and encourage the crew to speak up if deviations occur. In non-normal situations, I rely on the QRH and SOPs to guide decision-making. I also stay updated through recurrent training, safety bulletins, and operational memos. Compliance with SOPs minimizes risk, enhances teamwork, and ensures operational consistency. I believe following SOPs is not optional. It's essential for aviation safety. 20. Where do you see yourself in your aviation career in the next 5 to 10 years? In the next 5 to 10 years, I see myself growing into a senior captain role, mentoring new pilots, and possibly contributing to flight safety or training departments. I aim to continuously enhance my skills, embrace emerging aviation technologies, and maintain an impeccable safety record. I'm also interested in participating in leadership initiatives within the airline, promoting safety culture and operational excellence. Long-term, I aspire to be a trusted and well-respected professional who contributes to both company growth and industry standards. I'm committed to lifelong learning and to advancing in a meaningful, impactful aviation career. We hope these top 20 commercial pilot interview questions and answers have provided valuable insights to enhance your preparation. Stay confident, review thoroughly, and maintain professionalism throughout the process. Wishing you clear skies, safe flights, and the very best of luck in your aviation career journey.